Now, there is a village in Suffolk, not far from me, called Woolpit, and there's a bit of an urban myth, or a legend, or folklore. I'm going to tell you about it. One day in the 13th century, they had a visit by two children that just appeared out of nowhere. And what was really unusual about these children was the skin colour. It was green. Now, they were brother and sister. They looked fairly similar to each other, but they couldn't speak a word of English. Now, bearing in mind, in the 13th century, people didn't travel as far anyway, and they wouldn't have heard many other languages. But these children spoke complete gibberish. Nobody could understand anything they were saying. They tried to get them to eat, but they wouldn't eat anything apart from broad beans. Yep, broad beans, as daft as it sounds. I'm not making this up, this has been documented. Anyway, the community took the children in, and unfortunately the little boy passed away. He'd been very sickly and he died. But the girl continued to thrive, and every day she grew a little bit less green, shall we say. Now, after a while, the little girl started to learn English, or learn the dialect, and was able to converse with the locals. And she told them that she didn't know how she had gotten into Woolpit. Her brother and sister didn't know how they had arrived in Woolpit. She said they came from a land that had no sunshine. Everything was a greenish colour. What can you say to that? One day, her and her brother were looking after her father's cattle, and there was a storm brewing in the Greenland, wherever it was, and they herded the cattle into a cave. When the storm had passed, they went out of the cave, the cattle had gone, and they were in Woolpit. They were in this other land on earth, if you like. So my only thought when I heard that was it was a portal. Have you heard of a portal? A portal can be a doorway to another universe, another land. I know it's a little bit far-fetched, but I'd like to believe that these things can happen because I love science fiction. But yes, they had obviously gone through a portal from their world into ours. And who's to say that children or relatives or people that go missing haven't gone through a portal themselves? I mean, it's a fantastical idea, isn't it? Anyway, the girl grew up and she started working for the gentry in Woolpit in their big house. And that's as far as it's documented, that she grew into adulthood, working as a servant, and that was that. But it just kind of opens up this kind of idea that, you know, strange things do happen. Do we believe them? Or do we think it's just conjecture and legend? I would love to hear if you've heard about this story or anything like this, or whether you have an urban legend. I find them fascinating. Please comment. Thank you for listening.